There was one that I briefly wanted to, I guess, bring up. We won't go over all of it either, but let me just bring this up briefly as well. I think a lot of us know that um, the code generated by AI is not the greatest most of the time. Okay, and I'm being charitable to it. It's absolute dog crap. However, this particular study, done in 2024, talks about the security issues of code generated by AI models. That's something that can be sinister and easily overlooked. You do not know some of the security issues of code generated by AI. And if we take all the other factors that we went over on this stream into account, how programmers are neutered, not encouraged to think, programmers are told to take the easy button, programmers are told to depend on abstractions and not use their own ability, and just to make that worse, they're told to rely on automation and other tools like AI to assist them in thinking, which is far from the truth. Then they generate code with AI, and then you have security issues. This study reviews what security flaws of well-known vulnerabilities are commonly hidden in AI-generated code. It also reviews works that discuss how vulnerabilities in AI-generated code can be exploited to compromise security, and lists the attempts to improve the security of such AI-generated code. Now, in the results, I think it's either the results or the conclusion. That's the raw data set. Right. And so they go over the generated code in different languages and where it falls in the top 25 common vulnerability, the security vulnerability issues. And most of them fall in the top 25 generated by AI. And if you just don't look at them and you don't have a way to value judge the code output, you're going to end up with code generated by AI that you brought into your code base that ends up in the top 25 of security vulnerability issues. Now, there's somewhere in here. Yes, okay. By systematically reviewing the state of the art, we aimed to provide insight into the question: how does the code generation from AI models impact the cybersecurity of the software process? We can confirm that there is enough evidence for us to say, unsurprisingly, that code generated by AI is not necessarily secure, and it also contains security flaws. But as often happens with AI, the real matter is not if AI is infallible, but whether it performs better than humans doing the same task. Unfortunately, the conclusions we gathered from the literature diverge in suggesting whether AI-generated security artifacts should be cautiously approached, for instance, because of some particular severity or because they are tricky to spot. Indeed, some work reports of them as naive and easily detectable, but the result cannot be generalized. Overall, there is no clear favor for one hypothesis over the other because of incomparable differences between the paper's experimental setups, data sets, programming languages, flaws, and experimental methodology. Generally speaking, and regardless of the code production activity, whether for code generation from scratch, generating code repair, or even suggesting code, our analysis reveals that well-documented vulnerabilities have been found in AI-suggested code, and this happened a non-negligible amount of times. And among the many specific vulnerabilities, such as CWE MITRE Top 25, have received special attention in the current research and for a reason. For instance, CWE 787 and 089 received particular attention from articles as they are part of the top 3 of MITRE CWE. So the top 3 security vulnerability issues have been discovered in AI-generated code. Furthermore, the CWE security scores of generated code suggested by AI models would vary, with some CWEs being more prevalent than others. Other works report on having found naive bugs, easy to fix, while others discover malware code hidden between the benign lines, and other more reported an unjustified trust by human on the quality of the AI-generated code, an issue that raises concerns of a more socio-technical nature. And then it went on to describe how Python seemed to have fewer bugs, more secure code. It's as a consequence of training data and quality versus C, and continued types of exposure. Like it just goes on to describe what kind of vulnerabilities AI likes to generate and how they can be used for people who want to exploit them. And then conclusion, you have to be careful what you do with AI. Well, no duh. But the problem is that if you are encouraging people to use these systems, particularly programmers in particular, programmers who are responsible for the software that operates the thing that they are encouraged to use to create the software that operates the thing that they're encouraged to use that operates the software. This cycle leads to programmers who cannot make proper value judgments about benign or malware code hidden in between lines of code. They don't even know how to ask that question. The critical thinking ability, which is critical to a programmer's ability to do their job, is scapegoated for just another abstraction. AI is just an automated abstraction to the nth degree. That's all it is.